Namaste. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to the third session in this Weekend with Wisdom series. And we have been discussing and learning about the topic Vibheeshana Gita, an enunciation on the Chariot of Dharma. We had two sessions yesterday, morning and evening. We will be having two sessions today as well. And we are meeting now for the morning session. And we have with us Swami Nikhilananda Saraswati ji. Namaste, Swamiji. Thank you so much for joining us.
Namaste.
Before I give a brief introduction of Swamiji, I would like to chant a small prayer. Om Samastajana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Swami Nikhilananda Saraswati ji is a master of Advaita Vedanta and the disciple of Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda ji and Swami Paramananda Bharati ji. He was born in Mumbai and grew up strongly influenced by the lives and teachings of many saints. It was while studying for a master's degree in geology that he developed an interest in studying the scriptures. After completing the traditional course in Vedanta at Sandipani Sadhanalaya, Mumbai, he served in Chinmaya Mission teaching ancient wisdom in various centers of the mission in India and abroad for 33 years. Since July 2019, he is working independently, not associated with any organization, from New Delhi, guiding seekers in their spiritual pursuits. People like his satsangs because he demystifies this knowledge and presents it in a very simple and rational manner. His knowledge is vast. All those who interact with him, be they students, householders, professionals, or corporate leaders, are attracted to his subtlety of thought and his vast experience in sharing this ancient wisdom. A true teacher, he is always available to any questions put to him from any age group or background. Swamiji has been a regular participant at interfaith panel discussions in and outside Delhi and abroad. It's a privilege and an honor to have Swamiji with us. Once again, thank you so much, Swamiji. With that short and brief introduction, I hand over the session to you. Dhanyavad.
Hari Om. We'll begin with a prayer. Om Varnanam Artha Sanghanam Rasanam Chandasamapi Mangalanam Chakartaro Vande Vani Vinayakau Bhavani Shankaro Vande Shraddha Vishwasarupinam Yabhyam Vinana Pashyanti Siddha Swantastamishwaram Vande Bodhamayam Nityam Gurum Shankara Rupinam Yamashrito hi Vakropi Chandras Sarvatra Vandyate Sitaram Gunagrama Punyaranya Viharino Vande Vishuddha Vijnanam Kavishwara Kapishwaro Udbhavastiti Samhara Karinim Kleshaharini Sarvashreyaskarim Sitam Natoham Rama Vallabham Yanmaya Vashavarti Vishwamakhilam Brahmadi Deva Suraha Yassattvadamrisheva Bhati Sakalam Rajjo Yathahir Brahmaha Yatpadaplavamekame hi bhavam Bodhestite Shavatam Vandeham Tamasesha Karana Param Ramakyamisham Harim. Nana Purana Nigamagama Sammatam Yata Ramayane Nigaditam Kvachidanyatopi Swanta Sukhaya Tulasi Raghunatha Gatha Bhasha Nibandhamati Manjulamatanoti Bhasha Nibandhamati Manjulamatanoti Neelambujashyam Malako Malangam Sita Samaropitavam Bhagam Panau Mahasayakacharu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvam Shanatham Namami Ramam Raghuvam Shanatham Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram 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 Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Bole Siyava Ramachandra Bhagwan Ki Jai Hari Om Hari Om. We are seeing this beautiful Vibheeshana Gita, which is found in Tulsi Ramayana in Lanka Kanda. So the war was happening between Bhagavan Ramachandraji's army and Ravana's army. Many of Ravana's warriors got killed. Even Meghanad and Kumbhakarna were killed. Then finally, Ravan came on the battlefield to fight with Sri Ram. And he was a very powerful king, well equipped, very prosperous. He had a very powerful chariot with all the weapons on the chariot, very efficient charioteer, and he himself was well decked with armors and all other protective gears, with all different types of weapons. So with full force and might and with full confidence, he had come on the battlefield to fight against Sri Ram. He considered Sri Ram as an ordinary human being, and he felt that he can easily defeat him. He had that Vardhan from Brahmaji himself that he won't be defeated by anyone except a human being can defeat him, but he felt that he is so powerful, he can fight against any humans. Even Hanumanji tried to tell him that Ramchandraji is not an ordinary human being, he is Sakshat Ishvara. Even Vibhishanji tried to tell him, and his wife Mandodari also told him that Ramchandraji is not an ordinary human, is Sakshat Parmeshwar. Even Ravana's grandparent sent a message that don't consider Ram as ordinary human, so surrender to him, but he did not listen to anyone. So he had come with full force, and Vibhishan knew about the greatness and the prowess of Ravan. And here against Ravan was standing Sri Ram without chariot. He didn't have any chariot. And he didn't have any special armor or any protective shoes, etc. Even different types of weapons were not there with him. He was just carrying his Kodand Dhanush and his arrows, and bare feet with full confidence. Ramchandraji was standing against this mighty Ravan, who had created so much terror that even the Devatas were afraid of him. But Bhagavan Sri Ram stood in front of him. Bhagavan had taken avatar as a human being, and he was following all the dharma of a human being itself. So he stood in front of Ravan. The fight was about to begin. Vibhishan, when he saw this contrast, at one end Ravan, and here Sri Ram without a chariot, without a proper protective gears. So he, out of great love and devotion for Sri Ram, he got little worried also. He was concerned about Bhagavan's safety, and he was also doubtful whether this war will be won by Sri Ram. So out of that great concern, he spoke to Sri Ram that please tell me, how can you fight against this warrior and win over him without a chariot? So Ramchandraji takes this opportunity and gives him a brief discourse on dharma, that the real chariot which is required to fight against all enemies of our life, whether the enemies are within us or around us, the real chariot and the real weapons which we require are something subtler. And if we have that chariot and we have those weapons, we will be able to fight against all enemies of our life. And Bhagavan describes this so beautifully. We will chant that portion and then we will go into detail about the description. It is in Lanka Kanda after Doha number 79. रावण रथी बिरथ रघुबीरा देखि विभीषण भयउ अधीरा अधिक प्रीति मन भा संदेहा बंदी चरण कह सहित सनेहा नाथ नरत नहीं तन पद त्राना केहि विधि जितब वीर बलवाना सुनहु सखा कह कृपा निधाना जेहि जय होई सो स्यंदन आना सौरज धीरज तेहि रथ चाका सत्यशील दृढ़ ध्वजा पताका बल विवेक दम परहित घोरे क्षमा कृपा समतार जुजोरे ईश भजनु सारथि सुजाना विरति चर्म संतोष कृपाना दान पर सुबुद्धि शक्ति प्रचंडा बर विज्ञान कठिन को दंडा अमल अचल मन त्रोन समाना समझम नियम सिली मुख नाना कवच भेद विप्र गुरु पूजा एहि सम विजय उपाय न दूजा सखा धर्ममय असरथ जाके जीत न कह न कतहु रिपुता के महा अजय संसार रिपो जीत सकई सो वीर जाके असरथ होई दृढ़ सुनहु सखा मति धीर सुनि प्रभु बचन विभीषण हर्ष गहे पद कंज एहि मिस मोहि उपदेश हो राम कृपा सुख कुंज सियावर रामचंद्र की जय उमापति महादेव की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय हरि ओम. So Bhagavan describes the beautiful chariot. He says, Sunahu Sakha, oh my dear friend, Vibhishan, you listen. Ki jai jaya hoi so sandana ana, that by which we gain victory, that chariot is totally different. This outer chariot will not help us. The real enemies are there within us. The real enemies are within our own antakkarana. There are no greater enemies in the world than those who are there within our own antakkarana. If we can conquer the enemies which are within our antakkarana, then we can conquer the whole world at ease. World is not a problem. The main thing is to conquer the enemies within. And just by conquering even few of those enemies also, we will experience great peace, great joy, great contentment, fulfillment in our life. Even if one enemy is left within, is enough to torture us, to trouble us endlessly. There are people who get troubled throughout their life with some these negativities in their antakkarana. Some hatred, some jealousies, some anger, some pride, vanity, greed, fear, some phobia. It just remains in the antakkarana, and however much we try, they don't get eliminated. We go to various places to try to remove these enemies. Some management techniques and personality development and some yoga and some meditation and some retreats and all sorts of things we do. But if we don't use the proper means, then the enemies remain intact. And we see it in this world. It is not something which we don't know. Some enemies remain for a long time, and we pass it on to our children also. The negativities which are there in the parents' mind, sometimes they put it in the heads of their children, then they put in their head of their children. So it goes on through parampara. Even in a society, there are some enemies which remain as traditional enemies. Even nations remain as traditional enemies. Even different faith so-called religions of the world remain as traditional enemies. Dharma cannot be translated as religion. Dharma is something different. Dharma is Sanatan only. If dharma is not Sanatan, then it is not dharma. If it is not eternal, if it is temporary, if it is born in time and dies in time, then it is asatyam only. Only that which is asatya, false, is born in time and dies in time. That which is sat has to be eternal. If we find that something is not eternal, then just drop it as asatyam only. So here Bhagavan briefly conveys the samanya dharma, which is meant for everyone, for everyone's benefit. So he says, first of all, Bhagavan described the wheels of the chariot. Sauraja dhiraja tehirata chaka. These are the two main qualities which are essential for us to move forward on our path of dharma. See, in a vehicle, the wheels play a very important role. If the wheels are not there, then if we want to drag the chariot, we will have to overcome a lot of resistance. But when the wheels are there and they are properly lubricated and all, then the vehicle moves very smoothly. One of the greatest discoveries, as they say, of human being is to discover the wheel. So because of this wheel, we have various types of vehicles. Even an aeroplane has to use wheel before it takes off. And the wheel has to be properly lubricated and it moves the chariot. It has got minimum resistance then. The vehicle can move with minimum resistance. So if we want, dharma is a movement. Dharma is not something static. As our Pujya Gurudev used to say, the spirituality should be dynamic, not passive. Passive is not a sign of spirituality. It should be dynamic. It should have movement. And a movement should have proper direction and proper force. If there is movement, then it involves proper direction and force. If I have to use the vehicle should move. And it should move in a proper direction and with proper force. So what helps movement in our life? These two main qualities. One is shaurya and another is dhairya. Shaurya means courage. Courage is a tremendous important quality because of which we overcome our fear. See, we have fears. Fears are not something which we cannot eliminate fear just like that. Because the future is always unknown. And even the present is unknown. A lot of things are unknown to us. And whatever is unknown, there is a certain amount of fear is involved in that, some anxiety. We don't know what will happen. And many people, they have this worries, then it gets converted into worries, anxieties. What will happen? What will happen to me? What will happen to my family? What will happen to the society? And after a certain age, people, they get addicted to having this type of fears, especially in old age and all. In Bhaja Govindam, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says that balastavat क्रीडासक्तः तरुणस्तावत् तरुणीसक्तः वृद्धस्तावत् चिन्तासक्तः परमे ब्रह्मणि कोपि न सक्तः. That elderly person, they get addicted to do chinta, worries, and worries are always related to future. So future, we have fear. About enemies also we have fear. I don't know what type of enemies are there in my life. So how to overcome fear with courage. If that courage is not there, courage is something which we take our life in our hand. We take the situation in our hand. We decide to move forward. Whatever be the consequence, we just fearlessly move forward. That is called courage. Courage is something which we have to develop. Courage comes through proper wisdom and all. See here, the whole structure of this chariot is connected to everything. These wheels by themselves will not make the chariot move unless it is on a slope or something. The wheels are, the chariot is pulled forward by the horses, and the horses are controlled by the reins, and the reins are in the hands of the charioteer. And the charioteer listens to the orders of the master of the chariot. So ultimately the master is the main person, but charioteer, he controls the horses through the reins, and the horses pull the chariot. But for the horses to pull the chariot and make the movement easy, the wheels are necessary. So similarly in Dharma, there are these horses which pull us forward. What are the horses and all we will see. And the chariot also guides the chariot. Charioteer also guides. But what is more important is our courage. If there is no courage in our life, then there will be a lot of resistance to move forward. A lot of people actually, even if they have talent, even if they have education and other qualities, if they lack courage, they miss out in achieving success in their lives. Then we can't, then our chariot doesn't go forward only. What can you do? There is no movement. Without courage, there is no movement. All great achievements and all great wonders in this world are achieved by those courageous people. Courageous people are not only in the armies or in the Kshatriya, but in every field, even in homes, even our own parents, we will find so much courage in their personality to take care of the family, to lead them forward. There are some situations in some family where sometimes a parent has to handle the whole thing single-handedly. There are mothers who take care of the children when the father is no more and all. Single-handedly, she raises them, educates them. That requires courage. What comes in the way of courage? Fear. See, even when the chariot is moving, if there are the roads are not proper or some boulder is there and all, it becomes more difficult for the wheels to turn. But with deep faith in Ishvara, with proper understanding, with proper strength, with that intense desire to serve and to help, we develop that courage. With that belief in ourselves, with belief in Ishvara, we develop that courage. See, Sugriva was so frightened of this Vali, and he was running around everywhere out of fear. Then he met Ramchandraji, and Bhagavan said, you go and fight with that Vali. He said, oh, I cannot fight, he will kill me. Bhagavan said, don't worry, I'm there. I will protect you. So he then went and fought with Vali, and Bhagavan killed that Vali. Even Arjuna was so hesitant in the beginning that how can I fight this war? The great warriors are there on the other side. Bhishma Pitamaha. Bhishma Pitamaha alone was enough to destroy the whole armies on both the sides. So powerful. Dronacharya, so powerful. Arjuna was no match in front of them. Karna, very powerful. Bhagavan said, don't worry, don't hesitate. You just fight. You become a nimitta. I have already done the job. Nimitta matram bhavasavya. You just hold the bow and arrow in the right direction. I have already killed them. So when we have that immense faith in Ishvara, faith in ourselves, when we have the proper wisdom, we get courage. And when we have courage, we can lift ourselves from a very low level in our life also. Even when everything goes wrong, if the whole world turn against us, but if we give confidence to ourselves and get up and move, we will reach our destination. In Gita also Bhagavan says, Uddharet atmanatmanam, natmanam avasadhayet. Hey Arjuna, lift yourself by yourself. Don't wait for others to come and lift you. That will not be proper. You help yourself, then the whole world will come to support you. But if you yourself are not interested to help you yourself, then no one will help you. So this courage is very important, which is mentioned as the first value here. Courage and dhairya. Dhairya means immense patience, fortitude, forbearance, patience. What is the purpose of, what is the speciality of this patience? Actually, again, the future is so unknown that we don't know when the result will come. We become impatient for our result. We become impatient to reach our destination fast. And when we are impatient, we don't focus on the present work. We go wrong in our actions. Some people, after working for some time, if they don't get the result, they become so disheartened. They just want to give up. कि कुछ नहीं हो सकता है. I don't think I will succeed. कितना किया, it works so hard, but no, I don't see any result. Therefore, patience is required. Because the results, they come in their own time. Results are in the hands of Ishvara. And each action is like a seed. Actually, every seed, if you have observed different types of seed, every seed takes its own time to germinate. There are some seeds which can just, within a day or two, you can see the sprouts coming out. But there are some seeds which takes a lot of time to germinate, to grow into a tree. There are some trees which take years together to grow into a full-grown tree. Even some beings, some creatures, some are born within short period, but some take a lot of time to grow, to come out into this world. So our actions, when we do, when the result will come, whether it will come immediately or whether it will come after some time, whether it will show any signs before coming, nothing can be said. Till the last minute, we may not see any signs. We may think that, oh, kuch nahi hone wala hai. But suddenly the result comes. So one should have that tremendous faith and patience. Dhairya means patience and fortitude. Even under the most difficult conditions, to have the mind to move forward. to never give up. Like we see the example of Parvati ji. She went to the forest to do tapas. When she was a little girl, she wanted to marry Lord Shiva. She met Naradji. Naradji said, you do tapas, and if Shivji is pleased with you, he will marry you. So she went to the forest and she started doing tapas, meditating on Lord Shiva. Gave up all eating, drinking, just survived on dry leaves, then gave up those also, and just constantly thinking about Lord Shiva only and wanting to become one with Shiva. So Shivji sent the Saptarishis to test her, whether she is really interested in me or this is just superficially wanting to marry me. So the Saptarishis came and they asked her that, what are you doing? She said, I'm doing tapas. Why? She said, I want to marry Shivji. They said, why you want to marry Shivji? He doesn't have a home. He doesn't have proper, he doesn't wear proper dress. He doesn't eat well, and he just lives like a strange person. So instead of him, why don't you marry Vishnu Bhagwan? He is so well sophisticated, well dressed. She says, no, I will marry only Shivji. She said, I will continue to do this tapas, and if I die, I will be born again, and again I will continue with my tapas. And this I will go on doing for crores of birth. Janma koti lagil zagar hamaris, varahu shambhu natu rahu kuvar. I will marry Shivji or I will remain unmarried and I will die, but never marry anyone except Shivji. And I don't care how long it takes. That is called patience, that's called dhairya. If that type of dhairya is there, the whole universe surrenders to you. Even Bhagwan has to surrender. Shivji had taken a vow that he will not marry again. He had married Sati, and the whole experience was very tragic for him. So he said, I don't want to marry again. Bahut ho gaya. So he had decided not to marry. And here Parvati ji is doing tapas to marry him. She did that tapas with so much intensity without getting disheartened that Shivji had to change his thinking. He dropped his vow that I will not marry, and he got married to Parvati. That's called perseverance. In the path of dharma, a lot of obstacles come. It is not easy. It is not a path of entertainment, joy, comfort, pleasure. No, a lot of difficulties come. Sometimes more difficulties come. We see in Raja Harishchandra, he took a vow of following the path of Satya. And so many difficulties came in his path. He was tested like anything, but he never gave up. He never gave up his path. That's called perseverance. Nachiketa went to Yamraj. Yamrajji also tempted him with so many other gifts. But he says, no, I just want self-knowledge, nothing else. So that type of that persistence is required. Patience, dhairya. Then we will be able to move ahead on this path. So this courage and this patience, dhairya, persistence, fortitude are like the two wheels which take our life forward. If we fail to have this, then there will be a lot of resistance in our life by ourselves. we will lose a lot of opportunities. We will miss out on a lot of opportunities to attain our goal. So this wheel is important in a vehicle. So the chariot is there, these two wheels are there, which are two important limbs of dharma. But wheels in chariot by themselves do not move forward. They have to be pulled forward. So the horses are also required. But before talking about the horses, another important thing which Bhagavan tells here, very important, are the dhwaja. He says, Satya Sila Dhrada Dhwaja Pataka. See, in the ancient times, on the chariot, they used to have flags representing the owner of that chariot. Like Hanumanji's symbol was there on Arjuna's chariot. So in this Dharma Ratha also, we should have a flag and a post, flag post. So what are they? Satya Shila Dhrada Dhaja Pataka. Dhaja means the flag, and Pataka means the flag post. So for example, this flag is there. I made this flag. And this is called Pataka, the post. And this is the flag. The flag is flexible. It moves. It gets affected by the wind. But the post remains firm. It is not affected by the wind. It remains firm. But the flag, it moves. It's very interesting. So every chariot will have a flag and representing those warriors. So from a distance, you could see that that flag, because it is to be on a very long pole and fluttering flag. So in a war, so many soldiers and so many other chariots and horses and elephants and all, but important warriors will have that chariot with a long pole and the flag fluttering. So from a distance, you can see if I am a soldier fighting on foot, and I see from a distance Arjuna's chariot is there nearby, I will gain confidence that yes, Arjuna is there around me, he will protect me, he is there commanding the whole army around. So that is the sign. And even now in modern times, the vehicles, like special vehicles of the government officials and of some high court judges or Supreme Court judge or some other important dignitaries of the government, they will have their own special flag on their vehicle. Even the army and the navy and the air force and all, they have their own special flag. Even a plane, when it on the tail, it has got its own mark that we know it belongs to which company or which army or navy or etc. So what is the importance of this flag? Why this is so important, and what is the relationship in dharma? Very important. Bhagavan says, ki Satya Shil should be your flag and flag post in your dharma, in the Dharma Ratha. This flag represents my philosophy. It represents my intention. It represents my my motto in life. It represents my goal. Just like a company also, they have their own logo. Similarly, this flag represents what I stand for. when the enemy is there is to fight, they either is to kill that warrior, or even if they just shoot that flag post and break it, the enemy used to feel totally demoralized. So what is this flag post and flag in our life? It is the goal and the motto of our life. What do we stand for? What do we want to achieve in life? What is the purpose I have held in my life? What represents me? That is my flag. And here Bhagavan says, Satya should be your flag. If you are a dharmic person, if you want to move on the path of dharma, Satya should be your flag. Satya means truthfulness. Satya means that which is true. As I said, Satya means that which doesn't change. That is the definition of Satya. Satya means that which is eternally existing. It never changes. Asatya means that which changes. Constantly which changes is called asatya. And that which never changes is called satya. There are these values which are mentioned in our Shastras, the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, they are also satya. They also don't change. We cannot say that no, in this yuga, ahimsa is the value, but in some other yuga, himsa can be the value. Or you cannot say that for one nation, ahimsa is good, for other nations, himsa is good. No, ahimsa is a value which has to be followed by all beings, for the whole humanity. It is a universal value, an eternal value. Therefore, it is Satya. In the Mundaka Upanishad, the Upanishad says that if you want to achieve the ultimate Satya, the Paramarthik Satya, you have to walk on the path of Satya only. Satyena Pantha Vitata Deva Yanaha. So, following the path of Satya only, you have to achieve the Satya. So the flag represents our motto in life, our ideal in life. Arjuna had Hanumanji as his ideal. See, Hanumanji, Arjuna had met Hanumanji also. Though sometimes we say that Hanumanji actually was sitting on his chariot. Or he had that symbol of Hanumanji on his chariot, on the flag. That represented what Arjuna stood for, his ideal, his aim. He wanted to become like Hanumanji, and he was like Hanumanji to a large extent. What relationship Hanumanji had towards Ramchandraji, same relationship Arjuna had towards Bhagavan Sri Krishna. He was totally dedicated to Krishna. He was surrendered to Krishna, constantly remembering, chanting Krishna's name only, even dreaming about Krishna, waking up with his name, just like Hanumanji. And Arjuna had met Hanumanji also. In fact, he was very proud. Arjuna was very proud when he met Hanumanji. Hanumanji means he did not reveal his identity, like a Vanara. So Arjuna had gone to that Rameshwaram, and he saw Bhagwan's Setu, Rama Setu. And he just looked at it and he just laughed. Hanumanji was sitting there, a Vanara. So he asked him, why are you laughing? He said, Sri Ram was such a great archer that he took so much of pain and trouble to build this setu, this bridge. If I was there, I would have built with just my arrows. Effortlessly, I would have built a whole bridge with arrows. Hanumanji said, even Ramchandraji could have done this. In fact, Ramchandraji could have done this, but he wanted everyone to participate in this building of this bridge, so that everyone's contribution should be there. But anyway, Hanumanji did not tell this to Arjuna. He said that all of us were there, powerful army was there, and bridge could not, arrows, bridge could not sustain us all. Arjuna said, no, I can build a strong bridge. Hanumanji said, even it cannot take my weight. So Arjuna built a bridge of arrows, very powerful, very strong. And Hanumanji, in a very monkey form only, Arjuna had not recognized him. He just tapped on the bridge and the whole bridge collapsed. And Arjuna was stunned, like, it's such a powerful bridge, and one ordinary monkey, he broke it. So he came to know that he is not an ordinary Vanara. So he did namaskar. Hanumanji revealed himself. And he said that it is Bhagwan's power and Bhagwan's Shakti only which was protecting the bridge. Even the bridge which we built with stones and rocks and mountains was protected by Bhagwan's name, Bhagwan's power. So Arjuna was very fascinated. He surrendered to Hanumanji, did namaskar to him, took his blessings, asked for forgiveness for his arrogance. And he had Hanumanji as his ideal, that I also want to be like Hanumanji, totally dedicated to Ishvara, completely surrendered to him. And he put that on his flag as his ideal. See, in Mahabharata, you will have these various warriors, and all of them, they had different signs on their flag, which represented their thinking, their philosophy. Even Ravan, he had two types of flags. One, he had a human skull on his flag. The arrogance. I can destroy all these human beings. They are like peanuts. I will just eat them. But he also had another flag with the veena, with the musical instrument veena. He was very fond of music. So that was also his passion of his life, which he stood for. And another is to conquer the whole world, to keep it under his control. That was his flag. That was what he stood for. That is what for which he fought. So flag is that for which we fight, for which we stand, for which we move forward. So if in Dharma, the most important thing is to have a flag. And what is the flag? The flag of Satya. Let Satya, truthfulness, truth be your flag in life. That you will sacrifice your life, you will sacrifice everything for truth, for Satya. Nothing is more important than Satya. And the beauty of this flag is that though the flag is moving, it requires a strong post which should not move. The flag moves, and wherever it moves, still it remains the same flag. The moment doesn't change. The moment of the wind around doesn't change my philosophy. The moment of the change in the environment, change in the society should not change my philosophy of life, my goal, my intention. Like Parvati ji, she wanted Shivji and Shivji alone. So similarly, we should have Satya as our goal. Otherwise, it is not called Dharma. Dharma is not just following these values just like that. If the flag is not there, it is not Dharma. Then it is just just personality development. See, in modern times and all, they teach sales people who want to sell things, how to smile, how to shake hands, how to speak, how to present your products. These are all for business purpose, not for goodness. If you go there, they will inquire about you. They will ask if you want to have some tea, coffee, soft drinks. One may think she is so kind, so gentle, so generous. But no, he wants to sell his product. That is his flag. Our goodness, if it is because of some commercial purpose, if I am kind so that I can get something in return, I am gentle so that I can get something in return, then that is not a gentleness. My kindness, my goodness, my character, my work, all dedicated to the Satya. Satya. My life dedicated to Satya. If that Satya gets broken, if in our life, our goal, if we lose faith in our goal, if we lose faith in our Guru, if we lose faith in our Ishvara, if we lose faith in our own self, then our life is gone. Then we are dead. Even though we might breathe, we are dead. Similarly, if a warrior, his flag post is broken, he feels totally demoralized. He is as good as defeated. In our country also, our national flag is there. It has to be honored, it has to be respected, it has to be protected, because it is the honor of the country. Similarly, what is the honor of my life? For what do I stand? What is for which I am ready to sacrifice my life? That is Satya. That is the crux of Dharma. You have a flag of Satya, but that flag will be kept fluttering and properly it will function if you have a strong post. The post should be strong. It should not bend. If everything is bending, then it is not a flag. The post should be strong. Tulsidas Ji, he says in praise of Lakshmana that Lakshmana is like a post. For him, Ramchandra Ji is like a flag. His name, his status, his greatness is like a flag. But he himself stood like a post. Stood rigid so that his Bhagavan's name and glory can flutter. So what is that post in our life? That post is shield. Shield means good character. My goal in life as Satya should be accompanied by good character. Goodness, all-round goodness, kindness, friendship, generosity, good behavior. That is the strong post. If my character is not good, then that post will be weak. The whole thing will fall down. I may say that, oh, I have Satya as my goal, but I don't have good character. I do all sorts of cheating, lying, drinking, corrupt thoughts and all. Then the whole post will just fall down. So post should be strong, and that is Shila. Dhrida. Dhrida means firm. The firmness should be there in the post, then the flag will also remain firm. So this is a very, very important part of our dharma. See, Bhagavan is teaching us dharma. He is not teaching us how to make a chariot. Chariot is just a metaphor to teach us dharma. So Satya Shila Dhrida Dhwaja Pataka. So all of us, we may see Satya, it can be represented by different things. Like for Arjuna, Satya was represented by Hanumanji. Hanumanji was his ideal. Because Hanumanji, for him, when Arjuna is to think about Satya, he is to think about Hanumanji. Everything, whatever is required in our life, whatever values we require, whatever knowledge we require, whatever attitude we require, all he could learn from Hanumanji. There were some who had some animals as their symbol on their flags, some lion or elephant or a fish or the Surya or the sun, the moon. This represented in their life, it is the symbol of Satya for them. But there were some negative people like Ravana, who had a human skull as his symbol. The more human being he killed and tortured, he felt, I have achieved, I have mastered, I have fulfilled my life mission. So all of us should have Satya. It can express in our Ishta Devata, our Ishta Mantra, or our dedication to our teacher. So Satya, Shila, and accompanied with good character, good behavior. So that is the flag. Flag is described here because without flag, it is not dharma. Dharma without flag is no dharma. Dharma is not just a personality development course. It is something dedicated to Satya. So much so that even if you are alone on an island, you follow the path of Dharma. It is not for show. It is not to show how great I am to my neighbors, to the society. It is my own inner this goal and my lakshya, which I have kept within, dedicated to that Satya. Even Bhagavan himself, Ramachandraji, a Vigrahavan Dharma, he is the very embodiment of Dharma. And he had that Satya in his life, which he acquired from his own kula, from his own family. Raghukula Reet Sada Chali Aayi, Prana Jai Par Vachana Na Jai. If one has given the word, then you never go against that word. Dashrath Maharaj gave word to Kaikeyi, and she asked for this boon, and she said that send Ramachandraji to forest, and Dashrath Maharaj just accepted. He said, okay. He died. He could not tolerate his separation from Sri Ram, but he did not go against the words. If I have given the vachan, then I will fulfill it. Even in between, he hesitated a little bit, but Ramachandraji also stood very firm. He said, no, I will go, I will listen to my father's words and go to the forest. That is our culture of our family. We will die, but we will not go against our words given to anyone. And this we find in everyone. Hanumanji also, if he has given word, he had given word to, he said, I will protect you. And he fought even against Sri Ram. There's one story where he had given a word that I will protect this person. So Satya is very, very important in Dharma. If that Satya is not there, if a Dharma is based on Asatya, then it is not Dharma. Then it is just a worldly thing. Okay, now the chariot wheels are described, the flag is described, but the chariot will move forward only if there are horses Without the horses, the chariot cannot move. Our shaurya and dhairya cannot move forward if they are not pulled. If a car is there and no petrol and no engine and all, it will not move. If a chariot is there, wheels are there, but horses are not yoked, then the chariot will not move. Here, Bhagavan says that we should have 4 horses. And what are they? Bala viveka dama parahita ghore. Bala, strength. Strength of the body, of the mind, of the buddhi, and spiritual strength comes from following spiritual path. Regularly, if you do japa, puja, upvas, you will get spiritual strength. Nobody can shake you. Weak people, actually, they give up their dharma, they give up their all goals, and they fall flat on their nose. Because of the weakness. Weakness makes us go totally weak. There were great warriors, great people in our own country who were tortured and who were even harassed by people to change their dharma, but they did not change. They stood firm. Like the son of Shivaji Maharaj, Sambhaji. And so many great leaders and great gurus, Sikh gurus, they preferred to give up their life than to change their goal post, than the flag post. So, bala, strength, not only of the body, which we try to acquire by going to gyms, but important is our mind. Mind should be strong, and mind becomes strong when we do the sadhana, japa, tapa, yama, niyamasana, and all different sadhanas. When we do karma yoga, upasana, bhakti, mind becomes strong. So bala, vivek. Vivek means power to distinguish and understand and take decisions. Vivek is a ability of the buddhi to distinguish and arrive at a understanding, to decide, to know what is papa and what is punya, what is kartavya and what is not my kartavya, what gives rise to sorrow and what gives freedom, in which direction I should go, in which I should withhold myself. So that ability to discriminate and then arrive at a decision is what is called vivek here, which is very important. In Gita, Bhagavan talks about sattvic, rajasic and tamasic buddhi, which discriminates and understands. A tamasic actually is very fanatic understanding, which cannot discriminate properly. The wrong thing itself they consider as right. That is tamasic vivek. Rajasic is one which is little confusing. It is also not clear about what is proper, what is right. In the right also they will see little bit of wrong. In the modern times, a lot of people have this rajasic. If you present some bad person, in that person also they will try to see some goodness and then they will project him as a good person. Some terrorist, some person who has created a lot of hangama in the world and all, something they will see, he has brought chocolates to his children, so nice he is. He takes care of his wife. But he has killed so many people, what about them? And there are some good people, but in them they will find some flaw, some fault. See, he doesn't know how to wear his dress. See, his nose is not proper. See, Bhagavan Krishna, he is telling Gita and he laid his life so beautifully. But then we will find some fault. From our own standpoint, we think it is wrong because we have not understood his life properly. We say, oh, see, he married so many women. See what he did. See, he ran away from the battlefield. See, he used to steal, as a little child, he used to go and steal butters and all. He was a thief right from his childhood. So, finding faults in good things, asuya it is called. That will not help us in life. That is Rajasic Vivek. Sattvic is to understand things clearly. One can distinguish properly black and white, good and bad, right and wrong, dharma and adharma, pap and punya, bandhan and moksha, clear, Ram and Ravana, clear-cut distinguish. Knows what is proper and not. And because only when we have that Vivek, we will be holding on to that which is true. If you don't have that Vivek, we will hesitate. If such a horse is there who doesn't know either jana hai ki udhar jana hai, then the chariot will not move properly. No? 4 horses are there. 3 are moving in one direction. 1 horse wants to move this side. I just want to go and see what is happening there. Then the chariot will not move properly. So that Vivek is very important horse, which pulls us in the right direction. See, this courage and patience, which were the wheels, they have to be led properly through proper wisdom. There are people who have a lot of courage, but they don't have wisdom, so they go in the wrong direction. My Bindasa, what do you think? I have so much of courage. Then they do some stunt. Even some videos and all, I've seen people doing stunts on the train, trying to hang out of the running train, jump here and there, do all sorts of things, and they meet with an accident. Some of them die. That is not called courage. It's recklessness. Some people, they drive so fast and all. See, I'm so courageous. I can just drive. I can do stunts on the road with my motorcycle. And they fall down, they break their legs, and throughout their life they walk with a lame leg. That is not called courage. Courage should be accompanied with Vivek. The horse should be proper in our life. So Bala Viveka Dhamma Parahita Ghore. Dhamma means self-control. Self-control is also very important. We may have a lot of strength, a lot of power, a lot of courage, but there are times when we have to restrain ourselves. The vehicle should not only have the power to move, but power to stop. The horses should not only have the power to run, but to also gallop and to stop. That is very important. At the command of the charioteer, the horses should be able to stop. So that control should be there. Not that just go on. Because it's a war chariot, at times it has to stop, it has to move around, it has to take a U-turn, it has to move fast, it has to move slow. When the warrior has to shoot, the chariot should be steady. If it moves, Arjuna is aiming at Karna, and then the arrow will go and hit Duryodhana. That should not happen. So the Dhamma is very important in our life. Self-control we should have, and that actually our Shastra, they say, that we practice upvas now and then, because if we develop control over our tongue, we will be able to develop control over our other senses also. So you decide not to have a meal and then stick to that decision. In that way, we will develop that willpower. So this Dhamma is also a very important limb of Dharma, a horse which takes the chariot forward. And Parahita, very interesting. Parahita means welfare of others, intention of welfare of others. That is also important part of Dharma. We should do something for the benefit of others. Actually, there are no others. Everyone is my own self. But this will take time for me to understand. To begin with, I should serve others. I should do something for the welfare of others without having any ulterior motive in the mind, any gain in return. Just selflessly serving human beings, animal, birds, plant, just taking care of them. Actually, animals, they need our help of human beings. And with our this progress and so-called progress and our interference with nature, these animals, they suffer. Senselessly, we do fishing in the ocean and they throw the nets in the ocean, just like that old one, discarded one. And these sea creatures, they get caught up in these nets, caught up in some other discarded tins and our plastic and our straws and all, and then they suffer like anything. And once something gets stuck, unless somebody comes and untangles them, they remain stuck only. See, as a human being, we can call for help. We ourselves can also untangle ourselves. But these animals, if they get tangled in some mesh or some trap or something, they remain like that. I see some videos and all. Sometimes these dogs or cats and all, they try to eat something and their head gets stuck in some container, and they roam around just like that. Unless somebody then comes to know about them and they remove that vessel from their head, they will just suffocate and die. So human beings are the crown and glory of all creation. We have great power, but with this power comes great responsibility also, as it is said in some movie. So we have responsibility towards all the creatures of this world. We have to take care of everyone. The bird, the animal, the plant, the ants. Ants also have their own life. They have their own history, their own society, their own rules, regulations. The ant hills are so complex. If we just go to the forest, we see ant hill and just out of fun, we break it and all. It disrupts the life of countless those ants. They have to then again build up their house. So much of struggle, so much of pain. So, Parahita is also a horse which drives us. When we have that intention in our heart to do something for the world, to the society, sharing whatever we have with the world, it drives us, it takes our chariot forward. The chariot of Dharma moves. If I am selfish, if I only think of myself, if I don't care about others, then my chariot will not move ahead. It will get stuck. And if the chariot gets stuck, then there is no dharma. So parahita, very important. And para, starting from our family, our neighbors, our relatives, friends, animals, birds, Rishi Munis, Devatas, Ishvara, for everyone, we have to spend some time and energy serving everyone. That is parahita. So these are the 4 horses which pull the chariot forward. Bala vivek dama parahita ghore. But this 4, strength and vivek and dhamma and parahita themselves cannot decide and take the chariot forward. They should not be given the charge because they are, of course, 4 different ideas they may have. If 4 horses are tied to a chariot and they are just pushed, the horses might take the chariot in different direction. One fellow will want to pull it there, another want to pull it there. These horses have to be controlled, and they are controlled by having those reins. Those ropes are tied to the horses and they are held together by the charioteer. The reins are there which control these horses. And what type of control? Through the reins, communication happens with the horses. The charioteer communicates with the horses through the reins. Also by making some sound and kick and all something sound they make. But otherwise through the reins they can communicate. Or just by tapping on the horse, they know, the horse knows what the charioteer wants me to do. So sometimes they'll keep the reins loose so the horses know that now we can run faster. Or they just pull it little bit, so slow down, or just pull on the right or left, and all the horses know that, okay, we have to move on the right, on the left. So through the reins, the communication happens. The charioteer communicates to the horses. And what are these reins? The 3 reins are mentioned here. Kshama, Kripa, Samata, Rajujore. Kshama, forgiveness. Forgiveness. Kripa, compassion. Samata, equanimity. Forgiveness. See, strength is one of the horse, but strength doesn't mean that you go and beat anyone you feel like. Even if somebody has done something wrong, the forgiveness, that attitude should be there in our heart. Even if I have the power to punish that person, but with that deep sense of forgiveness, I will not punish that person. But this forgiveness has to be understood properly. Kshama, Kshama, the attitude in my heart. But how that forgiveness have to be expressed and what time, in which situation, all this we have to understand. We have to forgive those who ask for forgiveness. When, suppose I have done something wrong against someone and I really repent, I feel very sad about it, I decide not to ever repeat this, and I ask for forgiveness from that person, then that person with a very kind heart, generous heart forgives me. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji asked for forgiveness from Ishvara. A very beautiful stotra is there, Shiva Aprada Kshamapana Stotram, in which Shivji, Shankaracharya ji asked for forgiveness. Shantavyo me paradak Shiva 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 Bho Sri Mahadeva Shambho, that I have done this aparad, and he counts the aparad. In my childhood I did this, when I was in mother's womb I did this, when I was born I did this, when I was young and dynamic I did this wrong thing, so please forgive me. He enumerates his aparada and asks Bhagavan to forgive. And Bhagavan forgives when we ask in this way. But if the other person has not realized his mistake, And if he has not asked for forgiveness, and if we forgive, then that is not proper. But in our heart, we should not have any anger against that person also. But it is not something which others can take advantage of. See, the misunderstanding of this beautiful value of forgiveness by many even important kings of our country has led to a lot of misfortune and wrong things. If you have read history books and all, you will find that there was one, our king, great king, who forgave the invader who had come. He defeated him. But he just must have asked for forgiveness, please. And he left him. And then he again attacked. Means his forgiveness was not proper. Because that person, that there was no intention of not repeating it by that other person. It was one of his trick, one of his method of fighting, using deceit. To forgive such a person is not what is called forgiveness. Bhagavan Krishna did not tell Arjuna to forgive all these Kauravas. He said, you fight and kill them. They have done something wrong. We have given them chance to ask for forgiveness and to return the kingdom, but they said no. So you kill them. So the Kshama has to be understood properly. So Kshama, Kripa, compassion, and Samata. Samata means equanimity, looking at everyone with an equal vision, because that tattva, that divinity is present in everyone in the same way. So these three reins are mentioned to control the horses. But the reins by themselves do not control the horses. They are also inert. The reins have to be held by an intelligent person who knows how to talk to the horses. So that is the charioteer. The most important feature of this chariot is the charioteer. About that charioteer and other features we will see in our session in the evening. So if you have any quick questions, we can have.
Yes, Swamiji.
Yeah.
Thank you, Swamiji. We have one question.
Okay.
What was Satya for Rama in the contest of Dvaja?
For Rama.
Yes.
Ramchandra ji, actually, somebody asked him that, what do you love most in life? Whom do you love most? Did you love Sita ji, Lakshmana, Bharat, Shatrughna? What is very, very dear to you in life? He said, Dharma is very dear to me. Dharma is dear. I have taken this avatar for Dharma. I am living for Dharma. I will die for Dharma. Dharma is my Dhwaja. For him, Dharma was Dharma Dhwaja. His was like a Dharma Dhwaja.
Wonderful. Thank you, Swamiji.
We'll conclude with a prayer.
Yes.
Shri Hari.
Sure, Swamiji.
Okay. Oh. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om